Welcome to Learning with Linux. We're going to cover my top 5 tips for working in a Linux command line environment. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with opening a terminal. And I'm going to change the directory. We're going to go to the root directory. So cd is change directory. We're at the root directory. And I'm going to type in a command called tree here in just a minute. Actually, I can type it in, but I will not hit enter quite yet, because what I want to explain to you is that tree is going to just show me basically the file structure, everything that's on the computer. So it's going to go on for quite some time if I let it. What I'm going to show you though is a command called quit. It's Ctrl and C, Control plus the C button on my keyboard. So that is going to quit that command. This is a very useful thing to know, because if you start something and it starts running and you're wondering, how do I get this thing to stop? So Control C is very, very useful for that aspect. So let's go ahead and start this command. And you can see that's going to go on for a while. When I hit Control C, it stops. So let's go to, I'm going to open LibreOffice here, and we're going to put our 5 items up here. It's also called SIGINT. All right, down to number 4. Let's go back to our terminal, because I want to show you a couple things here. We're going to type in ls real quick just to show you the information that's there. Actually, let's do cd first. And what I'm going to do with cd is just basically go back to where I was before. And I'm not going to go too deep into this, but you can see when I list now, I get something a little bit different. Now, the reason I wanted to show you this is I've got in there a really long file name. And actually, I've got a video that's much longer, but let's focus on the really long file name for the moment. If I bring up, I'm going to type in nano, and that is an editor, a text editor, and we'll get into that a little bit more depth in another video. But if I start typing that really long file name, and I hit tab, it will autocomplete for me. So that's just a really nice feature if I have something that I want to do in the command line environment and I don't want to type everything out. Now, if there are multiple files that start with the same information, like you see I've got 3 different out files there, if I type that in, it will bring up the it will auto select up, or it will auto complete up to the point where it deviates, and then I can continue typing and hit the tab button again, and it will take it from there, hopefully. So anyway, and let me open that just for fun. All right, so number 4 is our tab for auto complete. Number 3. And that is a fun one as well. All right, let's go back to this, and I'm going to exit nano for a second. I just have a little message there in that file. Okay, the next item I want to share with you is the up arrow. So when I'm working in the terminal, and let's clear what I have there. If I hit the up arrow, you can see the previous commands. So all the different commands that I've typed. And if I find one like nano there, I can hit enter and it will re-execute it. So that is very useful. If there's something that I've done before, or maybe I made a mistake with something and I didn't type nano correctly, or I didn't type the file name correctly, I can go in, edit it, and it will correct it from there, or rerun my new command. So the up arrow Number 2 is scroll wheel paste. Here, let's go back to nano for a second. And I am going to hit enter there. If I like the information that I have here, like up arrow for previous commands, I can go into the terminal or into nano and just select my middle scroll wheel. So when I click on it, it will take the information I have selected and paste it. Now that works in If I select another terminal window, so if I want to go from LibreOffice, I can do that. If I want to go from one command line environment to another, I can do that. So that is just a very useful feature. So let's go ahead and put that on our list. And if you don't have a, I didn't spell wheel correctly, so let's go and correct that. If you don't have a scroll wheel on, and most of the mice in today's environment have a scroll wheel on them, but if you happen to have an old one, you can select both the left and the right buttons at the same time, and it will do the same thing essentially. All right, the next thing here is focus follows mouse. That is a wonderful element. So you can see when I go to the different windows here, I have to click on it in order to type in that window. And each computer is a little bit different. You may have to research how to find this on yours. But if I go to Control Center and I go to Windows, the behavior, and if I select this button, select windows when mouse moves over them. And in some computers, it's actually called focus follows mouse. But in this one, it's not. So let's move that window out of the way. And what you'll see now is that my windows stay where they are, but I can go to any of them and I can start typing so long as my mouse is over them. So I can backspace, I can type additional information, I can do whatever I like. So that is wonderful because sometimes I want to see the information that is on the window that's in the forefront and I don't want to change that, but I want to be able to input something on another window. So with that, that's our 5 tips for working in the Linux command line environment. Keep on learning, and we'll see you next time.